scare people. Go ahead. It's a little bit funner than sitting there watching cartoons. And so I remember, I went and did my little thing for a little while, and I came back, and I sat down because I was like, my mom's going to be done by now. And so I was sitting here on this little stool and looking around, and this lady that works there, she's like, hey, who's your mom? I'm like, she's shopping. And so I'm like, it's been a long time. Like, for a kid that knows it's been a long time, it's been a long time. And so I'm like, man, what is going on? And so I had no idea that my mom had forgotten that I was there. She went all the way home, which is about a 30-minute drive. Went all the way home, gets out of the car. Well, he wasn't pulling on me. He wasn't crappy. And so I was sitting there, and my mom's like coming up with tears in her eyes. I'm like, wow, what's wrong? Like, I had no idea she went to the house. I had no idea. He's picking up against you. I'm like, you would have told me that we would have tried. You forgot me. I started bawling. All right? I was 13 years old, freaking out this year. So here it is as a little kid, and when you figured out, man, you forgot me. My world was crushed. Like, how you're my mother? How could you forgive me? You're a monster. I will hold this against you for the rest of your life. And so I remember that moment of knowing that I was forgotten. And so we go through life and we feel like God has done that. When things happen to us and we get into a situation, we feel like God has forgotten about us. We feel like God just goes, whoops, my bad. Dust it off, you're good. But see, man, God is never leaving us. He said that He'll never leave us nor forsake us. So God never even turns His back on us. And I love that when He says, Jeremiah 29, that I have plans for you to prosper you, not to harm you. My plan is not that you'll fall. My plan is to make you stronger, make you better. And so, man, for so long, I remember that feeling, and I know some of you in this room, you remember the feeling of, man, I was forgotten. Maybe they didn't text you back. Like some of you girls, like, I texted her, and she didn't text me back. You text her at 2 o'clock in the morning, she probably fell asleep. All right? So just chill out. She didn't forget you. She just fell asleep. Brian, stop texting her early anyway. And so, but, we all experience that feeling of man, everything I had was in this. I put everything into it. And so we go to this, and our whole interpretation is, what do they really think about us? Do they even care? We ask that question. How do you, don't raise your hand, but in your heart, man, you ask that question, man, does that person even care? Does that person even notice? Does that person even really, my friend, like, I don't understand. How would you do that? How would you do that? And so we look at these things and we're like, maybe it's us. Maybe there's something wrong with me. Maybe they don't want to be my friend. Maybe they don't like the way I do things. Maybe they don't like the way I talk. Maybe they don't like the way I laugh. Maybe I'm going to... And we start going through this whole scenario and it gets way out of hand. And we're like, man, maybe we need to change us. And see, we get to this limbo where we don't know who we are because we're trying to please the next person. And I remember going into high school. I went through private school all the way up to like 7th grade. And then my mom had a bright idea because she didn't want to forget me. And so she's like, you're going to homeschool. Mom, you know I can't focus. Why would you leave me at my house, in my room, to do schoolwork? It's not going to work. So I had a year off of school. And so she's like, you're going to public school. And so my mom sends us in 8th grade. I go to the worst school in Louisiana. I mean, it's horrible. It's bad. All right. And so we go to the school, and I remember the first day. Like you've heard my story. I was a goofy looking kid. I didn't look as fly as a kid, not. But and so I remember walking up and really finding out about people. I grew up around a bunch of Christian people, and they had their own issues. But then you go to this world where people don't believe in God, and they're cruel. So here I am as an 8th grader. Our high school was combined, 8th grade was combined with high school. So we had our own little building, but we still had that fellowship with them. And so, man, I really figured out in my 8th grade year, man, that people were jerks. Complete jerks. And so I remember, man, just getting grief the whole time. In the whole 8th grade year, I regretted everything. I hated it. I despised it. And then, like, in that summer, man, something clicked, and I just snapped. Because like 9th grade year, I was like, I'm going to go to school. I'm going to make a stand. I'm going to show them. I'm going to be different. I'm not going to be who I was. I'm not going to be, and I completely transformed who I was. First day of school, I get in a fight, just to prove a point. You're an idiot, Landry. You're just dumb. And so, but see, that set an emotion, man. Like all that year, all I wanted to do was make sure that I made everyone else happy. I was the dumb guy that everybody say, hey, bet you won't do that. Oh yeah? Watch. Justin Landry, principal's office, dadgummit, you know? Like, you hear the whole school laughing here. Attention please, teachers, we need Justin Landry to the office, please. You just walk by and you hear laughing. But you know, I remember, man, all I did was try to please these people. And I was so sad on it. Justin, here's a good idea. Do this, because it's awesome when you do it, because you're going to get in trouble. We won't. It's awesome. And so I did all these stupid things. I got myself into a whole bunch of situations. I completely ruined who I was. So here I am in this moment where I have no idea who and where I am or what I'm doing. Because my identity has completely slipped away. Because I thought if I built an identity and these people, if I just developed everything, devoted everything I had to pleasing them, I would create an identity in there. I would create, hey, I'm popular, I'm this, I'm whatever. And I chased that. And I thought that was the answer, and I thought that was how I needed to go about it. But yet I find myself completely ruining my life. And I'll never forget, I was sharing with the leaders, and I'll never forget the moment where I sat down and where a teacher had just completely given up on me. And she's just like, Justin, you need to get a life. Like, I mean, she just went off on me, man. She had a wig on. I'm just saying. Like, she'd be straightening her wig. Seriously, Justin, you need to. I'm like, oh, God. Seriously, I had a teacher with a wig, one with one eye. I'm not kidding. Miss Stewart had one eyeball. She got Landry. He was white, had no iris or anything. It was freaking. I blew a projector up one day, stuck a pencil in the fan, and caught on fire. Don't try that. Alright, and then got in trouble for that. But her eye opened up and she got mad and it was just white. And so here it is, this wig, she's like, and seriously, this is what she told me. This is who you'll be for the rest of your life. You're not going to finish school. You won't go to college. This is who you're going to be. You're going to be what you are right now. So I hope you enjoy who you are. Guess what? Everything she spoke was my life. I let this woman speak because I was trying so hard to find identity. And when she spoke that into me, I didn't graduate high school. I didn't go to college. I had to fight, and I had to go to get a GED and just work hard and be a plumber. See, I let her words because at this moment, at your stage in your life right now, your identity is everything to you.
That's right.
Who you are is everything. Everything you do, every way you speak, the way you act, is trying to define who you are and to prove to people that you're somebody. And so when somebody, in this moment in your life, you let someone speak into you negatively against God's word, and you listen, you apply that to your life, you listen, and that becomes because you believe it. And so many of us, man, we go through life and people have said something. Maybe it's your parents. Maybe it's your relative or brother or sister. Maybe an old youth pastor, whoever has spoken negative into you and has destroyed your hope and dreams for what God has planned for you. But I believe tonight, man, we're going to get rid of that. I believe tonight, man, God's going to set you back on the pace. God's going to put your foot back on the rock and say, no, my plans are to prosper you. You go by my words, not by theirs. Because see, in 1 John 4:4, it says that greater is He that is in me than he that is in the world. If you have your Bible, let's turn to that real quick. Because I love something else that it says. It says, dear children, you are from God and have overcome them, because he that is in you is greater than he that is in the world. For the ones in the world, they speak from their viewpoint, that is from the world. They do not listen to what we have to say. He says, but the ones that know God hear what we say and recognize the Spirit. For those that aren't, they miss it, guys. They're not going to see what God's got in you. But yet we let them speak that to us. So it says right here that God saying, hey, greater is He that is in you than he that is in the world. I am so much greater inside you than any person can speak into you. My words will speak so much heavier if you listen. Cling to my word, cling to me. It is so much greater than anything that they may say to you. See, they're not going to understand what I'm doing in you. They're not going to understand the power I'm placing in your life, the anointing that I'm placing in your life, the call that I'm placing in your life. They're not going to understand it. And that's okay, because they're not looking through the eyes of God. They're not looking through the eyes of salvation. They're judging on the world's perspective. But see, when we get lined up with what God's doing, God says, I'm going to unleash. There's people in the house that are going to say, I'm going to support you. I'm going to push you. I'm going to encourage you. That's where you need to be placed.